The following podcast is non-profit and is based on the IGCSE history curriculum. In this episode, we'll be looking through the terms of the Treaty of Versailles. I will number each term of the Treaty of Versailles, and at the end, after I have discussed and listed all of the terms of the treaty, we're going to categorize them into the terms that were to punish and humiliate Germany, the terms that are to weaken Germany, and the terms that are to reward or compensate the Allies. Now let's start going through the terms of the Treaty of Versailles. First, Germany had to accept the blame for starting the war, which were under the terms of the War Guilt Clause. 2. Germany had to reduce its army to 100,000 men. 3. Germany could only have 6 battleships in its navy. 4th, Germany was not allowed to build airplanes, submarines, or tanks, and any that had been built or were in use had to be handed over to the Allies. But Germany, in this case, decided to blow them all up. 5. Germany had to pay reparations to the countries that had won the war. This figure was originally called a blank check, as it had not been decided. The figure, however, was later set at £6.6 million, or 36 billion German Reichsmarks. 6. All Germany's colonies were ruled by France, Britain, and other countries on behalf of the League of Nations. This agreement was called a mandate. 7. Germany was forbidden to join with Austria. Austria had been Germany's ally in the First World War, and they also shared the same tongue, German. Germany also had to demilitarize the area called the Rhineland on its border with France. It was also to be occupied by Allied forces for 15 years. 9. The area of Alsace-Lorraine had to be given back to France after it had been taken from them in the Franco-Prussian War of 1871. 10. The areas of Eupen and Malmedy were given to Belgium, who had been an ally of France and Britain during World War I. 11. The coal mining area, called the Saarland, was to be governed by the League of Nations for 15 years, and its coal fields were run by France. 12. A plebiscite, a vote or referendum, was to be held in the northern. Now try and categorize the terms of the Treaty of Versailles into 1. Terms that were to punish and humiliate Germany. 2. Terms that were to weaken Germany. And 3. Terms that were to reward or compensate the Allies. If you don't want to hear the answers yet, as you might want to categorize them yourself, pause now. Let's go through the answers. Terms 1 and 6 were to punish and humiliate Germany. Terms 2 to 4, 7, and 8 were to weaken Germany. Terms 5, 9, and 10 were to reward and compensate the Allies. Now, term 11 can be both to reward or compensate the Allies and to weaken Germany. This is because the coal that was mined there went to France, rewarding them. However, it weakened Germany because it was a significant source to their economy and income. Term 12 was to punish and humiliate Germany. Terms 13 and 14 were to reward or compensate the Allies, and term 15 was to punish and humiliate Germany. Now, to go over this topic, let's answer an exam question. The one I'll be answering is from the 2017 IGCSE history paper, titled, "Why did the terms of the Treaty of Versailles cause so much bitterness in Germany?" One reason that the Treaty of Versailles caused so much bitterness in Germany was that it took away Germany's source of national pride, their army. From the source of the Treaty of Versailles, their army was reduced to just 100,000 men, and their navy disbanded. This not only made Germans feel weak, but left many men unemployed. Another reason that the Germans felt bitter about the treaty is that it reduced the size of Germany. For example, all of its colonies were given to Britain and France, while Alsace-Lorraine, Eupen and Malmedy, and the Polish corridor were given to France, Belgium, and the new country Poland, respectively. This meant that Germans were outside of their country, which took away their freedom and made them feel bitter. Apart from these reasons, as I was only required to give two to answer the question, there are other reasons that made Germans feel bitter. For example, the treaty where they had to pay reparations made them feel bitter because they believed that the reparation sum was too high. Also, the fact that they had to hand over Alsace-Lorraine made them feel extremely bitter because they believed that it made the Germans that had fought in the Franco-Prussian War and died, they believed that it made their lives and their deaths completely worthless and pointless. They also felt very bitter because they had to lose the Polish corridor, which was given to Poland so that they had access to the sea for trading. They felt bitter by this because it cut the German region of East Prussia off from the rest of Germany, which was not a good impact on their trade and communication. This is the end of the podcast. Thank you for listening.